the numerous reports of UFO sightings have been a point of great controversy. The idea of extraterrestrial visitors traveling from distant planets is instantly dismissed by many. However, the attempted cover-ups of government investigations and the ongoing appearances of these strange craft may lead one to believe that these occurrences are not altogether without foundation. On a normal summer day in May of 1967, reports of a UFO in the community of Falcon Lake, Manitoba began to surface. However, nothing was officially documented. A local handyman was tending to his daily tasks when he was interrupted by a curious sound. He caught a glimpse of a strange craft hovering overhead. And then, in a flash, it disappeared into the sky.
Unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, have been a matter of debate for decades. Flying saucers, Area 51, close encounters, these are all part of this debate's great mystery. Discussions continue to this day. Do they exist or not? Apparently they do in Falcon Lake, Manitoba.
Falcon Lake's White Shell Provincial Park is the site of one of the most perplexing cases of alien existence. On that fateful summer day nearly 40 years ago, several locals claimed to have seen unusual lights and shapes in the sky. But there was one man who actually witnessed a UFO landing. And for him, this mysterious encounter left him scarred for life.
My name is Chris Rutkowski. I've been studying reports of UFOs and other phenomena for 25 years or so. And one of the most fascinating cases I've ever had a chance to investigate and delve into was the report out of Falcon Lake in 1967 when Mr. Stefan Michalak saw a Hollywood-style flying saucer land fairly close to him in an area just north of the town. On the May long weekend in 1967, Mr. Michalak was doing some amateur prospecting. He had actually staked a few claims and knew that there were some good quartz veins in the area.
Stefan Michalak was a welder by trade, but as an amateur geologist on the side, he would often drive from Winnipeg to Falcon Lake on his days off. His frequent visits to White Shell Provincial Park always proved to be successful, usually resulting in his retrieving a fine assortment of mineral specimens. Finding a rich quartz vein, he kept mining this area late into the evening. Finally finished for the day, Stefan decided to take a quick break before his long trip back home. Suddenly, he heard an odd sound in the distance. He listened intently, trying to identify the strange noise. His curiosity was sparked. Slowly, he walked over to investigate. As he crept through the brush, he was astonished to see an alien spacecraft. He was even more incredulous when he peered into the interior of the craft, seeing two figures standing in the doorway. Suddenly, the door slammed shut. The spaceship took off into the night sky. Its hasty departure not only surprised Stefan Michalak, but severely burning him with its exhaust as well.
He made it back to Winnipeg. He was treated at a hospital. He was feeling very dizzy, very disoriented. He had first and second-degree burns on his chest, had an unusual pattern of burn marks on his abdomen. The psychiatrist who examined him came to the conclusion that Mr. Michalak was a very reputable man who didn't make up stories as a matter of course, and in their mind, Mr. Michalak was telling the truth. In fact, the police began an intense investigation. The RCMP, the Royal Canadian Air Force, the United States Air Force, a number of other government agencies, they all investigated the case in great detail. What's curious is that the United States Air Force itself listed the case of Mr. Michalak as unexplained in its final report on UFOs, which was issued in the late 1960s.
This strange account of Stefan Michalak's experience is almost unbelievable, except for some theories regarding the physical evidence left on his body. At first, doctors claimed that the burns were the result of a barbecuing accident. However, further diagnosis ruled out that theory, and they were unable to determine the cause of the injury. Stefan has been quite diligent about protecting his anonymity, fearing exposure would subject him to ridicule. He has returned to his normal life, with only a few minor recurring health problems. Perhaps we may never know the reasons for this alien visit, but despite Stefan's injuries, many come to Falcon Lake hoping for just such an encounter.